Hello and welcome to Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. I'm Adam,
And I'm Josie.
and I'm not having a stroke, despite what Josie just expressed concern over before we started, because I was tilting my head like this. And the
He
reason
wasn't
is,
concerned about you having a stroke.
uh, um, that was, what's it called? Yeah,
I was
my
concerned
microphone was,
about your sad voice.
no, I'm just very tired today. But, here
Hmm.
we are.
Why are you tired?
Oh, it's just been a long week at work and everything.
It's Tuesday, bruh.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. Um,
Oh, that sucks.
yep. Plus I've been doing a lot of other things lately, which is unbecoming of me, or out of character for me, I should say. Um,
I was gonna say out of character is probably a better.
yeah, like I'm starting
Why are you doing things that would be unbecoming?
yeah,
What
no.
are you getting into?
I'm starting grad school next week.
Oh,
Um,
that's exciting, right? Or no?
yeah, oh no, it is. It's I'm tired. 'Cause I've been doing that. The YouTube channel, we've been doing a lot on the YouTube channel, which is taking a lot of my time. Um
What are you hoping to gain from grad school?
a degree, a master's degree in journalism.
And how will that aid you
It helps you get a job.
doing
Journalism. Well, this is
or
riveting
like
conversation.
a For well, like, bruh, um, for like a news station?
Yeah, news station, online news source, things like that.
Oh, I think you just need to go to a small town.
Yeah, what, and like walk in there, just swinging my dick around, like, hey guys, I'm from New York, so let me run things here.
No,
Like,
apply to
I
some
know,
places,
I'm
get
kidding.
some base stuff.
Like,
Mm,
well, that's the thing is I keep applying for jobs and I keep not getting calls back, so I'm like, fuck it, let me just try this. Because they have a huge simulated newsroom, which will give me newsroom experience that I don't currently have. Um, so
Okay.
that's something that'll be helpful. But that's not the
Huh.
important thing here for the sake of this podcast. For the sake of this podcast, it's like the YouTube stuff. Running the YouTube channel has become a lot more involved, and then
Did you
also running.
know
Did I know what?
did you know that I have a friend who is a producer
I did not.
in like news?
I did not.
Yeah, I do. I can ask her for advice for you if you'd like.
No, it's fine. I start the class next week at this point, so at this point the class is,
Okay.
entry level graduate coursework, so either way. Plus the other good thing about it is it
Cool.
defers my student loan payments. So yeah. But
Yeah, you'll just get more. That'll be great.
yeah. Eventually something's gonna happen and someone's gonna forgive it. So it's just like we're just running out the clock on that. Either I die and it dies with me, or it gets forgiven by some Democrat who gets elected. Either way, I win. So you know what? We're gonna perma student it until that point happens.
Oh, okay.
Because did you know your student loan
I
debts
mean,
do not
whatever works for
pass?
you.
Your student loan debts do not pass to your next of kin when you die. So if I die with
That's
student loan
nice.
debt, then, say I'm 80 and
Right
still
now,
have
you don't currently have next of kin.
that is correct. But either way, even if well, no, you do have next of kin, even if you're not married. It's not the only person who doesn't have next of kin is someone who has no family, period.
Oh,
Because you still have next of kin
well,
if you're not married. Like
well,
if
you
you're
don't
not
need to be
married,
married. I just mean like children.
well, no, it's your next of kin just becomes your parents. If you don't have children or a spouse, it's just your parents or your next of kin. If you don't have parents,
Oh,
it's your
you don't want
siblings.
them to get that.
Well, they
You
won't
you
either
want
way.
them to get the debt.
Well, no, they can handle it. It's fine. Well, either way,
Yeah,
the bigger thing that
leave
I
some
keep
shit
trying to get
behind
back
for
to,
them.
but you keep
How
like,
else
no,
will they remember?
let's talk about the serious subjects. instead of the YouTube channel. That's just kind of fun stuff.
Hey,
Um,
don't be so grumpy all the time, man.
that's my job. I'm the lovable grump,
Is that what you are?
I
Is that what
guess.
you've designated yourself as?
I mean,
Not just like the cranky old man that like
we've
kind
been
of lives
doing this
down the
for a
street and goes
decade
outside in his
almost.
underwear too often.
We've been doing this for almost a
What?
decade. Is there anything else that besides lovable grump that I've been in that time?
Yeah, I just described it.
Oh, well, either
You
way,
weren't listening?
well, you were talking over me as I was talking.
Yeah,
Either
like
way,
you're like the you were like the guy who lives down the street who goes out in his underwear too often outside.
hmm.
That's you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
No?
Um, but yeah, we do have the YouTube channel now, which I've been trying to get back to for the last 5 minutes. YouTube.com/
Oh, what are we gonna do on that?
at MWP News, and that's what I was trying to get to. Um,
Say that again.
YouTube.com slash
You
at
why would you speed through the most important part of it?
YouTube.com/at MWP News. Um,
Again, that's slash dot mpw
oh my
news. What?
goodness Christ almighty. Don't listen to what she just said. Go with what I just said. Um, but
We'll
yeah, so
repeat it because it didn't make any sense at all.
you're familiar with YouTube, YouTube.com slash
Is there an easier way for me to find this?
this is the easy way,
Bro, is there an easier way for me
YouTube.com.
to find this instead of having to remember, like, do you have a first video up or anything that I can search it by instead of like trying to remember that alphabet?
Oh my God. It's it's 7 letters. Right, I'll send it to you in the chat so you can
I
look at
can't
it.
hear you.
I said it's 7 letters. I'll send it to you in the chat. YouTube.com
7 letters. You
slash
want
at
somebody to remember 7 letters? Oh, bro.
there you go. I can send it to you in the chat. So if you want to go look at it, you can. Um,
You should
what
do
is
like a compilation of like Josie and Adam adventures or something. Like
what
some of the
the
like
two of us bickering
you
like an
should
old
do
married
one
couple for
about
an hour and a half?
the Best Buy episode.
I for
Yeah,
the
like a Best Buy episode.
for the 6th anniversary, I did a compilation of like greatest hits moments. Um, and I was looking for the moment where you kept say where when we did Mamma
I didn't do
Mia
nothing.
when we did Mamma Mia on 30-minute reviews, it was in the first year. You kept like who's Pierce Bra? Because you kept thinking we were saying Pierce Bra, not Pierce Brosnan. So
Oh
you
yeah.
so Peter just goes off on you. But the thing that I found instead that made it was me saying Pierce Brosnan is like the third most attractive person in that movie, and the two of you calling me gay for the next 10 minutes.
That didn't age well.
Who cares? Um,
That's really funny.
but yeah, so it was all things like that. Like there was one from the first season, or not first season, the first year, where they were talking about Big Bang Theory, and I went on a rant about how bad it was, and I'm like, and I'm gonna say spoiler warning here, but if you're asking for a spoiler warning for the Big Bang Theory, you should consider suicide. Like,
Damn. Hey, don't yuck somebody else's yum.
I've gotten
Uh,
better about that. Like, if you
so
listen
wait,
to
keep
like,
going.
oh, that's all I remember off the top of my
Hat?
head. Oh no, I definitely have. I've definitely improved over the years in terms of just not being a complete asshole about
I've
it.
not seen this. I I will say you laugh a lot more than you used to. You used to be like, no, no, no silliness. Fucking get back to the point. And it was like, oh, okay.
Well,
But
I found that the silliness and the kind of like not staying on topic does better than us staying on topic. Like when we stay on topic, it's less interesting. Um,
We should just have it is. We should just have, we must be just fun to listen to as people like who riff on each other. Maybe we should just have a podcast where we talk about our week.
Well, that's kind of what this is, but we do a lot of Star Wars because we are big Star Wars fans. That's kind of what this has devolved into.
I know.
With
That's
like,
true. I like
yeah,
it though. It's okay.
yeah. Um, but
What
yeah,
is our Star Wars topic this week? Or did you have other things?
well, before we, what I was trying to get into was next year, is the 10th anniversary.
Oh,
Next,
of what?
next August, me and you will have been doing podcasts
Hello?
together for 10 years.
For 10 years.
Yeah, because it
Every
was the
week, consistently and consecutively.
exactly. We are immaculate. We have never made a mistake. We Josie definitely didn't go like 3 years in the middle where she didn't appear on anything. But yes, we the
You
first
stopped
episode.
inviting me.
No, I kept inviting you, and you said you're too mean. Um,
You were too mean.
but okay,
You were
so
too mean.
either way, so we'll be at 10 years, and the question is, what do we do for the 10th anniversary show? Like me and Peter just did the ninth anniversary show,
Ooh,
um, 2 weeks ago, and as the kids say, I think it was a banger of an episode, as the kids say. Um,
it's
yeah, the
oh.
youths,
When are
as
you talking to kids, weirdo?
either way, the point is, we just did our top 10 video games of all time, where we talked about our top 10 video games of all
Ooh.
time. So, and last year, before
We did
that, we
that?
did me and Peter did. I asked you if you wanted to come on, you said no.
Okay.
Um, the year before that, we did top 10 movies of all time. Again, similar situation. I asked if you wanted to come on, you said no. Um, you said, and I'm quoting, "That's
And
a lot of
honestly,
work."
that's probably how the conversation went.
No, the conversation went, "Do you want to come on and talk about your
I
top
was
10
gonna
movies of
say,
all
I
time?"
probably was that blunt too.
And
Like
you said, "No, that's a lot of
you're not
work." And I'm like,
exaggerating at all. I
and,
was
and I said, "You're talking about your personal top 10 movies of all time." And you said, "That's a lot of work." And I'm like, "Okay, this is not an argument I'm going to win, so whatever." And
no,
then I offered you the out. Do you want to
no,
come
it
on
wasn't
and
an
just
argument
make?
that you would win.
And then I was like, "Do you want to concede?" I started to concede, and you still didn't want to come on. It was, "Do you want to come on and just make fun of me and Peter's picks?" And then you never got back to me. So I was like, "Okay, I guess not." But next year,
That's funny.
I do want you involved.
Okay.
Next year, my idea,
Next year?
yes,
Why
for
are we
next,
talking about something for next year, dude?
be,
It's like it's August.
because I want to make sure we can get the tech working. I want to get it right. And get it set, make sure the tech
Oh
works.
my
And also,
goodness.
you have very limited availability, and it's not something time sensitive. So
I
we could
do.
shoot it like next month and just not put it up till August. Like it's fine.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's
I
not
think that's
something
a great
time
idea.
sensitive. So if we get it at a time where we can all just get together and get this settled, we're good. The idea I had was on the YouTube channel, I've been doing Nuzlocke, which for those of you who don't know, a Nuzlocke run of Pokemon is it's a specialized set of challenge rules where you go through the game, you can only catch the first thing you encounter in each route. You have to nickname it, and if it faints, you have to release it or put it in the box. It's considered dead, you can't use it anymore. Um, so
That sounds weird.
it's
Are you
a
enjoying it?
yeah, it's a challenge run. It's to make the game harder. To add a level of difficulty to it, I did it with a randomized set where every encounter in the game is randomized.
Oh.
So like you played, which was the Pokemon game you played? You played Sword and Shield, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like you remember like in that first route, there's like the little sheep guy, and there's a few other ones like that. Um, in a randomized set, everything is gonna any Pokemon that's in the game can appear anywhere in the game.
Well, that sounds like a cheaty thing.
No, because it poses a challenge because you
Because
can't
what if
prepare.
you get really lucky?
You see, the issue is,
And
okay,
now
so
you get like a really good Pokemon
I've had that happen in
at a
test
really low
runs.
level.
I've had that happen at test runs where it's like, say, like I encountered in the first route
Test
like
runs.
Rayquaza or something, and what happens is the game doesn't have move sets for these Pokemon at those low levels. It'll have a base move that it learns at level 0 when it would hatch, but there's just that way there's a move set
Okay.
there so the game doesn't glitch, but that's all it'll have. So like this presents a problem with like the Regis, Regice, Registeel, Regirock, where their base move is Explosion. So you'll never get experience with it because it'll just die if it uses the attack. So like the game adjusts for that
Oh,
because it doesn't have move sets for everyone. Yeah, the stats are outlandish, but like for a legend, they won't start learning moves until they reach the catchable level. So you're just stuck with whatever the base is or whatever TMs you
okay.
get. So it does kind of adjust. So the idea
They
I had,
explode themselves?
yeah, explosion, you blow yourself up and it inflicts damage on your opponent.
Oh, and you die?
You die. You die every time.
Huh? You're breaking up pretty bad.
I said you die every time. So the idea I
Oh,
had and the thing that I wanted to get situated and why I wanted to start working on this early, and I think that you'll be on board with this, is I
eh.
want to have you and Peter
Race?
race in a randomized
I'm not your,
game.
uh,
Not
I'm
race.
not, no.
Race is the wrong word. Let me rephrase. There's no running involved. And the only work you have to
I'm not,
do
well,
is play on your computer. Does that sound good to you?
what do you want? I
All that
don't
we're
know.
so what do you want me to say? You sound like a
What do you
battered
want? Like,
spout.
what, give me some examples. I don't
You
understand.
you sound like a battered spout. So like what so like the way it works
You
is
ask a
like
lot of me.
I really don't. Um we the general idea I had was you would what's it called? You would both get a randomized ROM of Pokemon Emerald that I set up for you. It has completely random moves.
We have to play Pokemon? We have to play a race that we don't even get to pick?
Well, okay, it's not a race. Race was the wrong word. So there's a time limit where we'll play for like an hour or two. You two will both play for an hour or two, and we'll see how far you can get in that time. And points will be given based on what you do to see who wins, who gets more points. If you get a point for catching, you get a point for winning a battle, you get a point for evolving, you get a point for beating the gym, all that kind of stuff.
Beating the what?
Beating a gym, like, beating a gym leader.
Beating a gym leader. Okay.
So like I'll come up with a point system for it, and each of you would get a randomized thing where you have random items, random Pokemon show up, the trainers have random Pokemon. Um, so that's kind of the way it would work. Um, how about this? I will make you a random ROM and I will send it to you.
Rom?
I'll explain it to you, not on the call, but I will explain all this to you not on the call. But I'll send it to you. You can try it on your computer, see if you like it, and we will reconvene on that in the future. And because me and Peter both like this idea,
You and Peter do what?
both like this idea.
Hello?
We both like this.
Both like this idea.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Um, it's
So
just
I still don't think I'm following. Like I don't understand what you're expecting.
well, it's like you just play the game, like, and then
And
as
to
you
see who can get the furthest?
see who can get the furthest within the time limit.
Oh, okay, so a race.
Yeah, well, not really, because it's not it's a race like
And it has to be Pokemon?
well, Pokemon because you can randomize the game. Otherwise, it's not really it's not really something that you can do it with. Like this game style kind of lends itself to that. Um, and also I don't think I can get Peter on board for a
Okay.
farming simulator.
Oh, well, I would love to play a farming simulator. Like farming simulator? Could we play the gas station simulator?
I have not played that game. I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley.
Hmm.
Do you not like Stardew Valley?
Mm, hold on.
Well,
I just want to make sure it's what I think it is.
it's the farming simulator game. It's like Harvest
Um,
Moon, but with all the
it's
little.
okay.
Did you play the new update for it? There's a
It's
new
okay.
update for it.
No,
Oh, they added a bunch of
I
shit.
don't think I've ever played it myself, actually.
Oh, okay. I've been playing a lot of it. There's gonna be a YouTube video about it on the channel. I have a
There's
lot
going to
for
be
the
a YouTube video about it on the channel.
yeah. Because right now it's just the
Is that
Pokemon
what you
Red.
said?
Yeah, so
Okay.
right now it's
Sorry,
just the
I'm repeating because I can't, I like you keep breaking up and I don't know what you're
oh,
saying.
because right now it's just the Red randomized Nuzlocke.
Sorry.
But there's gonna be more stuff going up in the future as I play games and make videos.
Oh,
So
Trace?
what was that?
Hello?
I can still hear you.
Oh my goodness. Are you going to show your face?
No, 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 no. God, no.
Hello?
No, I would like
So
to.
he says he can hear me, but he doesn't fucking answer.
No, I said it. Yeah, I said I'm not gonna show my face because I'd rather people watch the video and not be like, "Oh my God, why is there a gargoyle playing this game?" Um,
Aw,
so
you're not a real gargoyle.
thank you, I appreciate it. At this
Like
point,
I said, you're kind
Josie,
of like like the crazy old man down the street that goes out too much in his
at
underwear.
at this point,
That's
Josie
you.
knows me well enough to know my self-esteem's in the toilet. So, but some guy at work keeps telling me I should shave my head
So what?
entirely and
So
just be done with it.
what?
Some guy at work keeps telling me I should shave my head and just be done with it entirely instead of like what I currently do, which is just like like pull it back, like it's like a one all around. He's like, just shave it entirely. Just go, beard, no hair.
You're not, your head's not shaved?
No,
Oh, yeah, you should probably shave it.
see, look,
It looks shaved in the video.
you can see it there with this.
Yeah, you could do. The bald head is nice. Like, bald head look is nice.
Yeah, the
It's
bald.
clean.
I'd keep the beard and just get rid of the hair on top, I think. Um,
Yeah, that's a pretty clean look. That's a nice look.
yeah.
That,
There's a
there's
guy at
nothing
work.
wrong with a bald head as long
There's a
as
guy
it's
at
like
work who does it. I'm like, I
cleanly
don't want people
done.
to think I copied him.
It's not gonna look like you copied him. He's just gonna be like, sweet, another bald dude. Like,
So
what do you mean copied him? Because your hair is thinning and like receding, but like you aren't allowed to also be bald.
yeah, like
Like, what the fuck
that
is
was the
that?
thing where it's like, what's it called? Like Harry
I think
Styles
you're
has that look
overthinking
now.
that.
Like Harry Styles has that look now, and it's like he debuted this new hairstyle where he shaved his head and has the beard, and it's like, yes, that's what every man in their 20s does when they start to lose their hair. Um, but we do have Star
Yeah.
Wars topics of
Well, that
conversation.
so that means that they don't own it.
Yeah. We do have Star Wars topics of conversation for
You could do.
today. Did you watch the trailer
Oh, okay.
for Skeleton Crew?
Oh, it's fine when you put on. What?
What are
The
you muttering about?
trailer for no, negative.
Um, all I hear was you
It's fine when
muttering
you
under
change
your
the topic,
breath.
but not fine when I change the topic, but whatever.
Okay, well,
Hmm.
what topic did you want to stay on then? You want the concept of my
Yeah,
hair?
I wanted to talk about the balding. I tried to go to Star Wars earlier, but you said no.
Okay, so you want to continue talking about my balding as if it's on a topic that you've been talking about
Yeah,
since
because
you've
you were
met
going to
me.
talk about. I didn't talk. That's not true. Um, don't lie. Um,
There's a
you
quote that I can't say on the
are you thinking
podcast.
that you're going to?
I think I might.
Are you? I don't believe you on that.
Why?
Are you thinking you're gonna?
I think I might.
Hello.
I said I
Oh,
think I might.
you think you might?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good idea. You should do. And then you could go and you could get it totally done by like a barber and they'll like get it done real real close.
Yeah. It'll save me money
Do you go to
too.
a barber?
I go to Head Cutters, which is like a cheap unisex haircut place.
Ooh, buddy. It's
That's
not that expensive to go to a barber,
I've been going to this place since I was a kid,
especially if you're.
and I think it's true. I got a haircut like a week ago, and I got this woman I'd never had before. And that was an aggressive haircut. Let me just say that I got because like
Why was it aggressive? I don't
I don't think it's
understand.
normal to like get slapped in the head while you're getting a haircut.
Slocked in the head?
Like okay, so like she was like
Smacked in the head?
yeah, she was like doing like this, but she was like doing it like very aggressively, like it sounded like she was like slap. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? But yeah, it's
Me?
not you, the
Buddy,
woman.
it is really like it's real. It is really breaking up, and I almost have no idea what you're saying
Where the fuck is my Star
at
Wars
all.
predictions thing? Um, yeah, no, she was just
Oh,
kind of
okay.
aggressive. Um, I'm just looking for my Star Wars the predictions paper that I had for our predictions going into the year, so we can do a check-in on that. Um, but you said you had not
Okay.
seen
Well,
the trailer.
I have not seen the trailer. Am I in trouble now?
Well, no, I did tell you yesterday we were going to talk about it, so I would have assumed that that would have been the indication that like, hey, we should
A
probably
trailer? You told me about a trailer?
yeah, trailer for
I
Skeleton
came
Crew.
with my three things.
I
I
also
came with my three things.
All right, let's go back to the
Did you
tape.
send it in a separate?
I said I could probably bang out 7 to 8 hours of the audiobook tomorrow, which full disclosure, I didn't. We could check in on our predictions and talk about the trailer for Skeleton Crew and what could happen with animation. You said okay, and then I said for the show, come up with 3 shows you'd like to see animated.
And then you said the Acolyte got canceled, and I said,
I did.
okay.
I did. Well, the Acolyte did get canceled, so and I'm pissed about
So,
that.
um, I read the first half of that text, not the second half.
Well,
If you, there
you
are
read the
two
second
different
half, you
points, you
mean?
gotta put them on like, no, no, I didn't read the second half because the second half was trailer for Skeleton Crew. I
Oh,
read check in on our predictions and I said, oh, okay, cool.
oh,
Um,
okay.
but I didn't know you have to be a little bit more direct because if I am reading this like while other things are going on, I'm gonna go, okay, and then not know that that meant anything about what I was talking about. Like what I needed to do. If you want me to watch a thing, you have to say, "Hey, watch the trailer for this. We're going to talk about it." And then I
Okay,
will
I
do
will
it.
keep that in mind in the future. I'm just looking for this
Yeah.
fucking Star Wars show notes. That's not it. That's the
Could you?
notes from when we were starting. Where the fuck? I definitely have this in here. How do I not have this in here anywhere? I don't know where
Um,
this document went. Where our predictions? That sucks. Um,
how'd you
predictions maybe.
lose it?
I don't know. This may come off as a
You'll
shock to
find it.
you. This may come off as a shock to you, but I'm usually very organized. Um, yeah, I don't know what the
Mm,
fuck happened to it.
I only half believe you. It's not shocking that you think that you're organized. It's just,
No, I am organized on my like I am organized to a fault. Like I have a folder for like Word documents related to the podcast, specifically for this. That way I don't have this
well,
issue.
obviously you
Where the fuck would I would have saved this? Either way, let's talk about the trailer.
didn't
Let's talk about the
do.
trailer real quick. It looks like shit. That's what I have to say about the
Okay.
trailer. Um,
Okay,
it
why?
it looks like you spent time in Albany. It looks like any area suburban like New York tri-state area, but like with Star Wars over it. You know what it reminded me a lot of? Um, it reminded me of
Do you
um
think that there's just not going to be neighborhoods like that?
it looks weird. Like it
Or
looks kind of anachronistic
it
for
looks
that
weird.
to
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't feel organic to the Star Wars universe. Like, and I don't want to be that guy who just sit here and
Okay.
complain about that, but it doesn't look interesting. Oh, here it is. I found it.
It's a
Um,
little off.
The title was Questions for Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. That was the title of it. Um, but yeah, I watched it and I was like, this just doesn't look good. I get what they're going for. It's kind of like an Amblin style show where it's like it's meant to be like, the Goonies or E.T. or something like that, but with Star Wars. And I'm just like, I don't know if I need this show. Is kind of how I feel. Like I don't know that I need to watch this. Like, and I don't think the trailer does a
Okay.
lot to make me want to watch it either. Um, it just
Okay.
depend on the kid acting, and I don't know if I trust that. Um,
The kid act?
the kid acting, because it's like it's for kids who discover something.
The kid acting. Okay.
Yeah,
The
like
child actors.
yes, that's I don't want to disparage the child
Okay.
actors, especially considering there's a long history in Star Wars of people being improperly rude to child actors. But I don't know if this is going to do it for me. Um,
Not gonna, what are you expecting the children to do for you?
well, like act like competently. Like that's the thing is that it's like when you watch like, and I don't like to pile on Jake Lloyd because it's not entirely his fault, but like he doesn't have a great performance in The Phantom Menace. Like not to pile on him any more than needs to, or like the kids in Jurassic Park. It's like, okay, cool. Like they're there and they're annoying kids, but like give me more. Um and I don't know if this show is gonna like this show feels like something that should have been animated. But it's not. It's a live action thing that standing alongside the Mandalorian and Ahsoka and the Acolyte. And it just doesn't it feels as cheap as Book of Boba Fett. Which like do you remember that you watched Book of Boba Fett, right?
Yeah.
You remember that slow speed chase when like the fucking teenage biker gang with the multicolored speeders is chasing the
Yes.
guy? Like that looked
Yes.
so bad. That's the vibe I got from this
Yeah.
entire trailer.
Oh, that sucks.
And that was the thing that I'm like, I
That
don't
sucks.
know. I don't know if this is gonna do it for me. But it comes out in December. The thing that does come out in December that I'm very interested in, and this trailer you can watch later, Win or Lose. It's Pixar's show on Disney Plus. Like
Win or lose? What's it about?
win
Winning
or
or
lose,
losing?
win or lose. It's a little league baseball team that's playing a game, and
Ugh.
each episode appears to be like this is what's happening in each kid's head in as they're playing this game.
Oh. Oh God.
It looks kind of cute.
Does it look
Um,
cute? Okay, I'll have to
yeah,
take your word for it.
yeah, it looks kind of cute. So I'm interested in that. And I've been looking forward to this. They announced it like 2 years ago, and it was supposed to come out last year, but it's finally coming out now. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, Agatha doesn't look good either. Um, which is the Agatha Harkness spinoff from WandaVision. Um,
Okay.
so it's all bad. Um, but
That
the other
sucks.
thing is I want to talk about the Acolyte being canceled. Now, how far have you gotten in the Acolyte?
Okay. Zero.
Oh, you haven't watched it
I
yet?
haven't watched any of it. No. Yeah, I keep telling you I don't have the the Disney Plus anymore because they changed their thing. Because I was using somebody else's. Um, and they changed it so that way
You have to pay to
like
share
it can
passwords.
tell. Yeah. And
Do you have Max?
I have Max.
Okay. Do you mind watching ads?
I don't mind usually.
Okay, so here's a suggestion I'm going to
That
make for
means I
you.
can save some money.
How much are you're paying for Max, right?
No.
Oh, never mind. Because I was going to say they have a bundle, and this is what I just got. It's a bundle. It's Max,
I
Disney
did see
Plus.
Hulu. Hulu has a bundle
It's Hulu,
with
Disney Plus.
stars and stuff.
Oh, no, no, no. This one is Max, Disney
Yes.
Plus, and Hulu for 16.99 a month,
Okay.
which is a really
I
good
am
deal considering
considering
Hulu is
that one.
16 alone.
Yes. Yes, I am considering that one. I just what the fuck am I trying to say? Um, I'm waiting for some more shows to pop up
Well, because that's the thing is that we're
on
getting into the busy season. Max has a lot coming up.
does it?
Yeah, Max has The Penguin, which is the sequel to the Batman with Robert Pattinson. They
Okay.
have Dune Prophecy, which is the prequel to Dune. So if you thought
A
me and Peter
prequel.
gave a sloppy
Are they even
blowjob,
done?
what do you mean?
Are they're not even done?
No, no, no,
The
they're
movies
coming.
aren't even done. Why is there already a prequel?
Well, because Dune is weird. Dune takes place over a very weird timeline where it's like the first Dune book is a few years. Then it's like Messiah is like 5 to 8 years later. Then Children of Dune is like 15 years later. And then God Emperor of Dune is 4,000 years after that. Like it's a very weird scale that they
Okay.
do, but like the events of Dune are like 10,000 years in the future. So like Dune Prophecy, which is the new show, takes place 2,000 years before, or 2,000 years in the future from now, 8,000 years before Dune, and it's about the founding of the Bene Gesserit. So
Okay.
me and Peter are looking forward to this show somewhat. Um, so like I said, if you want to hear
Hmm.
us blow it, we will probably blow this show at some point in the future. Um, but that's coming out on
Okay.
Max in November. There's also what's it called? What's the other big one they have? Oh, Creature Commandos, the first DC Universe show from James Gunn, in December. So that's all from them. Then there's also early next year, Welcome to Derry, which is the It prequel, and the second season of The Last of Us. That's all on Max.
Oh,
Disney Plus, there's Win or Lose. There's Agatha, which, okay, I think Agatha is just going to be a roundabout way to resurrect Wanda. Even though I don't think Wanda's
yeah.
actually dead because I just rewatched Multiverse of Madness. Um, I don't think Wanda's dead. And the other one after that is Skeleton Crew. But you can catch up with the Acolyte. There's Win or Lose. There's, they have their usual assortment of crap on Disney Plus. And then also like probably end of this year, I would be shocked if you don't have Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out too by the end of the year. Um,
Yeah, that makes sense.
because Inside Out
I
2
really
was
want to
really
see
good.
Wolverine too.
That was
I want to see Wolverine and Deadpool.
that movie was fantastic. Like
Was it good?
it
Okay.
was so good.
Thought you were gonna shit on it, and I was like, oh my goodness, no, because
Oh
that's
no, no, no.
so Deadpool's like my dad's favorite superhero,
Mhm.
and my favorite superhero is Wolverine. So it's pretty cool
Yeah, I left that and
that
I
they're
was like,
together
God
in a
damn.
movie. I
I
want to
never need to
see
see
it.
another Deadpool movie, but this was fantastic. Like, because that's the thing, is like at a certain point you're like, I don't think Deadpool is necessarily a leading man that needs a trilogy of movies. But at the same like he works well in a supporting role, but like these were really entertaining. Um
Yeah, I'm just bummed that I can't watch it with my dad. That's pretty much my only bummer on it. And I really want to go see it. I just have had a busy weekend
yeah.
every single weekend.
Well
So
it's
I'm thinking this weekend will probably be the weekend if it's even still in
oh no,
theaters.
it'll still be in theaters. It's
Mm.
making so much money, Disney's not pulling it until they absolutely have to. Um and then it's
Oh,
like,
really? Okay,
oh yeah,
cool.
I think it's already crossed a billion.
There's a Wolverine bucket, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a Wolverine fuck bucket.
Isn't there a Wolverine bucket?
Yeah,
A fuck bucket? Why is it a fuck bucket?
because it's literally
What are you really
Wolverine's
fucking at?
mouth.
What's the fuck
It's
bucket?
it's Wolverine's face with like a hole where the popcorn comes out. It's his mouth wide open, and it's like
Oh,
they saw the
all right,
Dune
so it's a
bucket, and they were
Wolverine
like,
fuck bucket.
yeah, and they saw the Dune bucket, and they were like, let's see if we can outdo the
And like,
Dune
and so
bucket.
many people bought it and were interested in it because of how redonkulous it
Yeah, because
was.
it's like
So yeah, kind of makes sense. They
yeah
should do that from now on
yeah
for
make
the
every
money.
popcorn bucket fuckable, and you'll make and that's $1 billion industry right there. Like, figure out some way
If you
someone can stick
make
their dick
anything
in it.
fuckable, like if you find a way. Yeah, if you can do that with everything, you'll make a lot of money off of it.
Well, I mean,
Or make it vibrate.
that's true. You would think they would have tried to do that with the Wolverine one. I feel like there's a lucrative market in that with Hugh Jackman's face. Like,
It wasn't a Wolverine?
no, they have two. They have Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's like it's just a hole in the
Oh.
front that you can fuck. You would think they would have figured out a way to put a vibrator in it. I'm sure some enterprising individual on
Oh.
OnlyFans has figured that out already.
Somebody will, but they can't be that. I just mean make the whole thing vibrate or yeah, make it fuckable.
Well,
Make it so the baby can.
that did happen. Like the first big time something like this happened was like when Harry Potter came out. They had it wasn't a popcorn bucket; it was a toy they released that was a the broom that it for whatever reason vibrated. I don't know why you'd put that functionality in it because
Yeah.
it's not like it. And yeah, it was a problem in the early 2000s for people. That sounds like a confession,
Heard
but that's
about
not how
that.
I intended it. Um,
Was it a problem for you?
no.
What'd you do to that handle?
I don't think it was released in America. I remember reading about it online. I think it was only released internationally. Um, but
We're an
regardless,
internation.
what the fuck?
Sorry, keep going.
But yeah, either way, they you will be able to see Deadpool and Wolverine this weekend if you wanted to go see it. But I think it'll be on Disney Plus by the end of the
Sweet.
year. Um, so you'll have a lot you can and Inside Out 2, I would say is really good as well. Um, like although someone did ask an important question about the little Muppet that is anxiety. Like if Riley were
Oh,
to take Xanax, do all the emotions just get baseball bats to beat the fuck out of anxiety with? Like,
that's really funny. No,
yes.
anxiety probably just like goes and takes a nap.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it was a
makes
cute
anxiety
movie.
tired and go take a nap. Was
But
it cute? Because I that's
it was.
also one that I'd like to watch, but I will not probably pay to watch it. I would
It was.
just watch it
I
when it comes
enjoyed
out.
it. I think that the way they portray an anxiety attack is really interesting. And like the spiral of anxiety is really well done. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah. I did have
Hmm,
one complaint about the movie that I'm not gonna say because it'll spoil part of it, but like after you see it, let me know and I'll tell you what my one complaint was about. Like they play with
okay.
identity a little bit and there was one issue that I had with the way they portray it. But yeah, so it, back on track with Star Wars. So the Acolyte got canceled and
Honestly, I probably won't even notice it.
well no, I don't think you will.
So you may have to warn me ahead of time.
Or I'll tell
Yeah,
you
because I
after
don't
or
notice
after
that
you
kind of
see it, I'll
stuff.
tell you because I don't want to spoil it for you because it's either way.
Oh, okay.
The Acolyte got canceled, and I think this points to two wider issues that are, or three things, really. I have three things to talk about. Is that a butt plug?
No,
It's a water balloon inflator, right? I'm sorry.
no.
Oh. Oh, is that the Lego thing?
Gosh, you're rude. Yeah.
Um, I wasn't judging. I was just
Gosh, you're
asking.
rude.
Um,
It
she
didn't
was
sound like asking, and it also did not seem like it was not judgmental. But that could just be the way you talk.
that is just the way I talk. But either way, it's like the I think the Acolyte getting canceled does point to three larger issues that we have. Number one, I think Disney Plus is in for a reckoning in general, and this is just kind of the one that was holding the bag at the start of that. Um, because
Yeah,
there have been flops for Disney Plus before. I don't think we've ever seen a cancellation announcement this quick, besides like Willow, and I think this did better than Willow. Um, and the show was better than Willow sucked. Oh my God, I could not stand Willow. Um,
really.
yeah, Willow was really bad. Um, but
Hmm.
like it, I don't think that this show was as bad as it warranted a cancellation announcement the month after it ended. Um,
Oh, okay.
Like that was a quick turnaround because like we didn't get confirmation of a second season of Ahsoka for a few months. Or like Book of Boba Fett didn't get picked
Hmm.
up and we didn't get that confirmation for a few months. Like this is a quick turnaround for a cancellation announcement. And look, I'm not
Okay.
saying that this is done in spite of ratings. The ratings weren't abysmal, but they weren't great either for the Acolyte. Um, and I think part of
Okay.
that comes from Disney is spending way too much money on these fucking shows. Like, you shouldn't be putting the budget of a movie into a TV show. I'm sorry. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like,
Yeah. I mean, unless you're putting it into like many seasons.
right, like look at like the easiest comparison for like a big budget TV show is like The Flash. The Flash on the CW. That show had a budget of $20 million a year.
That's a lot.
No, no, I'm sorry, 40 million. It was 2 million an episode times 20 episodes. Like that's a high budget. These shows have 10 times that.
Jeez.
Like it's a lot of money they're putting into these shows, and a lot of times they're turning out just okay, and there's diminishing returns. Like there's a reason at D23 that we got so little confirmation about things from Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm has no idea what the fuck they're doing right now, is how it feels. Like,
Yeah.
how is it that
They're
we
trying to
have,
figure out.
like, last year they had that big presentation at Star Wars Celebration where they were like, here are three movies we're going to be making. We're making a Dawn of the Jedi movie from James Mangold. We're making a new Jedi Order movie with Daisy Ridley returning, set after the sequels, and we're making an Heir to the Empire movie directed by Dave Filoni that's going to wrap up all the Mandalorian timeline stuff. 18 months later at D23, the first time they're addressing a theatrical Star Wars movie publicly is we're making it, but it's not any of the movies we already announced. It's The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh.
And that movie is
Hmm.
currently shooting for a 2026 release date. And again,
What else do they have to say about the two of them
I don't
that
know because
hasn't already been said?
like I feel like The Mandalorian season three kind of ended in a great place for them. Like
Yeah. It was
I
really like whole and done. Like,
yeah, I don't think we need another movie of this. And the issue is too, it's like
but they gotta ride on it. They gotta, yeah.
I think they're gonna move that release date. I don't think it's gonna stick with the May 2026 release date. If they're shooting a movie now for May 2026, that's a long time. Considering that
Oh,
like they're also shooting right now Fantastic Four, and Fantastic Four comes out in a little under a year. Like that's a long time to have this movie there. And I think they're gonna move it up to late next year. Um, and I think there's a possibility they move it into Blade's slot. Like this movie slots into where Blade is in early November. Because there's no way Blade's coming out in early
okay.
November. I don't believe that movie's ever coming out, let alone that's coming out next November. Um, and I don't think they want to release this movie in May of 2026, 3 weeks after Avengers Doomsday. Because you're going to be
Okay.
competing, you're putting the Mandalorian up against Robert Downey Jr. returning to the MCU as Doctor Doom in part one of a two-part Avengers movie. And look, we've seen what happens when Star Wars goes up against part one of a two-part Avengers movie in May. Because this happened in 2018 and Solo was a bomb.
Okay.
So I don't think it's smart
Hmm.
for them to keep that release date. I think they move it up to late next year, which is fine. And the thing is too, you want to give it some space, but like you also have Avatar next year. Avatar 3 is next December. So like I don't understand like and the thing is too, I don't know how well the audience is gonna take to this movie because the the other big thing is what about, the Marvels? Did you watch the Marvels yet?
I did,
It was a
right?
good movie. It was enjoyable. It was good. Like it
That was
wasn't.
the one with the, yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, that was
Like
the
we're
one
on
with
there where they're kind of on like another planet or whatever.
it's
And then
Monica,
they're all like
Carol, and
four or
and and
five.
and Kamala. Not the future president, but Kamala Khan. Um, which also like has like her existence has also made me mispronounce Kamala Harris's name way too many times. Because I'm just gonna start pronouncing Kamala Khan that way instead of the way she pronounces it on the show because it's gonna clear things up for me. Um, it's that movie bombed. The narrative going into it, like, and everyone who saw it's like the movie's great, but the narrative going into it was you needed to watch 2 seasons of uh Disney Plus shows to understand this movie. You did like the narrative was you need to watch WandaVision, you need to watch Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of which are massive time sinks, and they came out a year apart, and then this was a third year. Like, but that was a big sticking point for a lot of people who went to see that movie. It's like, oh, or people who didn't go and see the movie. You're gonna do that same thing now with Star Wars' first theatrical outing since 2019. If it comes out in 2026, it'll be the first time we're sitting in a theater to watch a Star Wars movie since The Rise of Skywalker. And your first outing in that case will be doing the exact same thing that what's it called? That sank the Marvels.
What sank the Marvels?
The narrative going into that movie was you will not understand this movie if you do not watch Miss Marvel and WandaVision.
Oh, I understand now. I'm sorry. I was missing it. Okay.
Like that was the narrative constructed over months going into it was that if you do not watch those two
You
things you
had
will not
to.
understand what this is, and it's not true because like you didn't watch Miss Marvel, right? Did you watch Miss Marvel? I forget.
I did.
Oh, never mind. But like did I've seen them, but like I got the feeling watching that movie you could understand the movie without having
Yeah.
seen, like, you didn't need to watch them.
No, I
But that was the
agree.
narrative going into it. Similar, Star Wars was just the victim of this similar kind of not slander campaign, but this attack campaign over the course of months leading into the premiere of the Acolyte, where it's like it's gonna destroy canon, they're destroying canon, they're destroying canon. And I'm like, when you watch the show, it is kind of a perfect setup to where the Jedi are in the prequels.
Okay.
Where it's like this is designed to explain why the Jedi are so absorbed in trying to keep their power and how that absorption started and how they are so willing to let bad things happen just so that way they can keep their position of power in the Republic. Like that's
Hmm.
fundamentally what the show is about. But going into it, people were like, "Oh, well, in Phantom Menace, Kai Mundi says they haven't seen a Sith in a millennia," and it's like, yeah, but like at no point in the prequels have the Jedi been shown to be doing anything right, so why the fuck should we believe him? Like,
That's true.
and that was kind
Hmm.
like, and that thing, that narrative, I think impacted the negative perception of the show that led people not to watch. Like, there are people at work who are like, "Oh, I heard they broke." I don't want to spoil it for you. I want to let you watch it, and then you tell me what you think, and then I'll explain to you how you're wrong. Um, in the third episode, and then later on too. I'm not saying the show is perfect. There were a lot of things I didn't like. Like I feel like the entire seventh episode probably could have just been folded into the third and not done it as 2 separate episodes. I feel like, there's a whole weird weasel thing you could have completely cut out, and that's not anything, big. And there is some anachronistic dialogue that I bumped into a little bit. Like the show is not perfect, and I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it didn't deserve the treatment it got. And to that end, what's to stop the same kind of machine that has now been perfected from being used on Mandalorian and Grogu? If there are things in production that are not in line with the political views of those who are wielding this power.
Hmm.
Like that would be my concern if I'm Disney. Like my concern if I'm Disney is like, look, as long as we have a white guy in I mean Pedro Pascal's Hispanic, I think, but like if as long as we have a white guy in the lead, we're fine because like that narrative, oh, you have to watch 2 seasons of TV to understand the Marvels mysteriously did not appear for uh what's it called? It didn't exist for Multiverse of Madness, and it didn't exist for Deadpool and Wolverine. Because Deadpool and Wolverine, it's in the
Okay.
trailer. I'm not spoiling anything for you. Features a lot of the TVA from Loki. Like, there's even a joke about that in the movie. And again, I don't
Okay.
want I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but it's like someone mentions one of the things from Loki, and Deadpool looks in the camera and goes, "You mean from Loki season 1, episode 5?" Like, it's you watching the show helps, but it's not mandatory. And I think that that's why Marvel has kind of put up the the screen between television animation and movies. But if Star Wars isn't willing to do that, there's a chance they could be running into something. Because like if you think it's a problem that you had to watch 2 seasons of TV for the Marvels, you got to watch four for the Mandalorian and Grogu. Because it's 3 seasons of the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Like I I I don't know. I think this is a bad idea. Like I think we're watching like in real time the things that lead into a car accident. And if there's one other thing that I know about Star Wars fans, having been one since 1997, I feel like when I was like 3 years old and I was first introduced to this crap, like the thing that I know is that Star Wars fans always feel the same way. The best Star Wars is old Star Wars, all new Star Wars is shitty Star Wars. And that scale slides as new
Yeah.
things come out. Whatever the previous thing was is great. The new thing is shitty. The only exception to this, there are two exceptions to this that I've seen in my lifetime. Rogue One and
Lifetime. Your long
Andor
lifetime.
are the only two things that people have warmed up to immediately.
Fucking sucked.
Well, I know you hated Andor. I hear you muttering over there.
I'm not
Um,
muttering. I'm speaking at a normal tone and volume.
you could be like, it sucked. Happy?
It sucked. I'm not into it.
You're
It
wrong.
sucked.
You're wrong.
It sucked. Big ol' suck.
It sucked like the Wolverine popcorn bucket. Um,
Could
but
do.
it's just I I don't think this is a good move for them. I think they need to reconsider this. Um, and I think they need to like I get why you're doing it, and I think that there is this feeling that like look, people like the Mandalorian, people like Grogu, people like Baby Yoda, people are gonna like this. People have cooled on the Mandalorian since season 3.
Yeah.
Season 3 was not as well
Yep.
received as season 1 or even season 2. People have significantly
Mhm.
cooled on it. Um, and I think too, it's like when you watch how that show ends, people are gonna be like, "Okay, we're good. We don't need to see this anymore." And now it's like, "No, we're
Mhm.
gonna do a movie with them now." I don't know. I feel like so of the three movies. Let me ask you this: of the three movies, that's not Mandalorian and Grogu, which is the New Jedi Order with Rey, Heir to the Empire, ending out the New Republic stuff, and Dawn of the Jedi from James Mangold. Which of those three movies, if you were in charge, would you lead out with?
I don't know.
Like, which of those would you do first?
I don't know. You've got what would you do? I don't think the same way you do.
Okay. Um,
Sorry.
I mean, look,
I don't know.
I would have,
Genuinely don't know.
I would have done the Rey movie, I think.
You think
Um,
so?
yeah, I would have done,
The
I would have,
Ray movie?
yeah, the sequel to Rise of Skywalker about Rey starting the new Jedi Order. That's where I would have started.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I think that has the least, like,
Hmm.
I think that that has the
Why?
least potential for baggage, especially coming off of James Mangold just directing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Like he doesn't have the goodwill he
Huh?
still has from Logan because that movie was not great. Um,
Okay.
so I think that you don't want to lead with that, and you also don't want to lead with what's it called? You also, I don't think you want to lead with ending off the Mandalorian stuff because that's still lucrative for Disney Plus. So I think you got to lead off
Mhm.
with Rey. And I think that if that movie, and the thing is too, I think Lucasfilm, look, I don't want to call, because there are so many assholes on the internet who have been calling for Kathleen Kennedy's head on a silver platter since she got the job as the head of Lucasfilm in 2015 or before 2015. But I think Lucasfilm needs to reconsider how they do things. And I think it starts at the top at this point. I think that, and I think Filoni's got to go too, if I'm being completely honest. I think putting Filoni in the CCO role was a completely bad idea. Um, I think that,
Really?
I think keeping him in charge of like storytelling at certain areas is good. I don't want him overseeing all storytelling at Star Wars because very quickly this could devolve into a situation with like what DC has, where DC is basically all Batman all the time. Like
DC is, oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like
DC is
if you go to a
basically
comic book
Batman all the time.
if you go to a comic book store, it's like try to find something that's not Batman or a Batman adjacent character. It's very hard. If you want to read The Flash, if you want to read Superman or Wonder Woman, it's they have one or two comics each. Batman's in fucking everything. Like
Okay.
and that's what I think we run the risk of with Filoni in charge is that we're just gonna be around this original trilogy jerk off session that we've been in up until now. Like the universe is thousands upon thousands of years in a timeline. Why are we have to sit around this one conflict?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So the thought
Yeah,
exercise that I
so
gave
that brings us, I think that that's a really good segue into the thing that you asked me to prepare, which is what would I like to see turned into a movie or a um
animation.
a series, right?
Yeah. I wasn't I guess
Animation.
what would you like to see
An
animated?
animation.
Um
Animated. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Well, like you know how that's like, like how they did the Bad Batch or, Clone Wars or Rebels. Like I should have
Oh,
specified that's what I mean. Like what would you like to see done like
that
that?
kind of animation.
Right.
Okay.
Like a series where you have time to develop the
I get
characters and all
mind.
that.
Okay. Um, I would really like to see Revan and Revan's story and like totally done up in the same kind of style as like the Clone Wars, but like on like how they really went into the story and stuff and like followed him around and like watch him go from good to bad to good again and
Mhm.
the bit in the middle where he goes and he's um he finds the Mandalorian helmet and stuff and like I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's a good idea. Let's alternate. We'll do it like draft style. We'll alternate.
okay.
Um, my first
Okay.
one is I would like to see the immediate lead up to the prequels. The Republic as the Confederacy is rising, the Republic as we're starting to get the Sith starting to take some control. Like, give me a Palpatine who's starting to get his start in the Senate. And as he's working with Plagueis and he's starting to become a Sith Lord in that regard, the beginnings of the machinations would be
I like
really
that.
cool.
That would be pretty cool.
What's your next
Um,
one?
I would my next one is I'd like to see and maybe this wouldn't be best for animation because I misunderstood the assignment as per usual.
Oh, it's my
Um,
fault. I didn't lay it out clearly.
but um thanks. Um um I would like to see what was it? I'd like to see zombies in the Star Wars universe. Like there's multiple instances that they show up and kind of like Death Troopers or Red Harvest or the other one from the video game
Yeah,
that
were
I
you
cannot remember the name of.
would you envision this more as like how they're doing the Marvel Zombie show on Disney Plus, like that kind of thing, like a Star Wars zombies, or like just like some story at some point in the timeline with the zombies appearing.
I think it could be no, like not like the what ifs, but like I'd just like to see a full-fledged story. Like so Death Troopers is a really good one and um Han Solo and Chewbacca show up in it.
That'd be a really cool Disney Plus like hour and a half special, I think.
Right,
Like
right.
they find an Imperial ship that's kind of been marooned in space, and they go on, and it's kind of a horror take, as
Mm-hmm.
there are the stormtroopers that have been zombified. That'd be a really cool like one shot on Disney Plus. It's like an hour and a half long, or like what they did on
It
with Marvel
would.
with the special presentations. Um, my second one, and you guys mentioned it. What if? Give me Star Wars. What if? And like good what if, not the shitty what if they've been doing with Marvel. Like,
We did a whole episode where we talked about our what ifs.
oh yeah, like
They
this
could
is
take some of those.
like this is a topic that I've discussed at length, where it's like there are so many decisions that go into each Star Wars movie that each character makes that like one small decision in other directions completely change the way the entire series works in fundamental and traceable ways.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. A what if series would be great. I would love to watch that.
like or like like the one that I would start out with would be like I would do like a mini series. I would do what if Obi-Wan investigated after episode 2? Because there's a really weird moment in Attack of the Clones where Obi-Wan, and this has been memed to death, where Obi-Wan looks up and he's like, by the way, the guy who's the base for the clone army is hanging out up there with Count Dooku. Clearly, we can't trust the clones. Like, I would like to see a what if where instead of being conscripted to fight in the Clone Wars as a general, he gets sent to investigate this at fucking the Yoda. And it's about him try. It doesn't have to be a what if. It could just be like, here's the story of what happened there and why nothing ever came of it.
Oh, okay.
Like that'd be an
Hmm.
interesting like because it is an interesting question. Or like, you know, I don't know. There are a lot of really cool things in there, and I would like to see that done well, and not like because the Marvel what ifs are all really weird and require leaps of logic that don't make a ton of sense. Like like the zombie episode is because apparently there's a zombie virus in the quantum realm that Janet brought back with her when she came back in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that's what causes that. Like, and like I don't think that
Okay.
that tracks with the logic of what this show is, but whatever, it is what it is. Um, what's your third one?
My third one is going to be the one I'm sure you can even guess it because it's one of my favorite series. It's the I'd love to see like a series on Bane
Yeah,
and maybe even with a little bit of a twist up where like the first few episodes could be kind of like, hey everybody, like here's how Bane became Bane and look at how all there used to be a fuck ton of Sith and because we've never seen that before. We've never seen a whole bunch of them. And then um from there, uh, maybe going down the line of succession, like every new Sith Lord and apprentice and stuff like that, and they get their own little show.
I could see that as what they're doing with the Black Panther show on Disney Plus. It's an animated show, Eyes of Wakanda, where they're going to be talking about each like leadership of Wakanda. So it's like the Black Panther of the era telling their story, what happened there, how they interacted with other secret cities like Kunlun and Kamartaj and all these other places. And each one of them telling the story of a different one. That'd be a really interesting kind of anthology where it's like you start out with Bane and then it's like you follow the lineage back. The
Yeah.
thing
But
that
I
I
feel like
would,
you'd have to have a couple of episodes at the beginning that kind of explained how he gets to that point, where he room, and maybe it could be called the Rule of Two.
yeah.
That'd be pretty
And
cool.
then
And
you
then it's
just do,
just so like the first few episodes are explaining like, why was it no good and how did he get there? Where did he get it from? And then coming back to and then following that line of succession.
and then the only thing I'll add on to that, I'll piggyback onto that. Each episode, each time you follow a different Sith Lord, it's a different art style. Like how Visions has different art styles for each episode. You
Eh,
outsource it to different animation houses for each one
I
telling the
could
story.
see that.
I think that would
I
add a
could see
level
that. That'd
to
be
it
kind of
where,
funky.
yeah, like you just add like who wants to do a
That'd be
Star Wars
neat.
story about a Sith Lord, and then it's like, okay, so here's what you're gonna do. Like you're gonna tell the
But
story.
like kind of sticking to what the little bit that we know, like
Right, right. No,
the
no, no.
like
They're
staying
not
in
gonna deviate
canon.
from the canon. It's just gonna be like we're gonna tell the what's it called? We're gonna we're gonna their role is to use different art styles and make it look different, uniquely them, yet still be
Okay.
Star Wars.
But I would want the same voice actors for instances that it required it.
Yes, I agree. And I'm sure you can guess
But
my
each
third
time
one.
it should be somebody else.
Right.
Something having to do with blowing and or Dune.
No. My third one is the big thing that the animated shows on that Filoni has done very well. It's provide context for the movies around them. The Clone Wars as a project and the Bad Batch make the movies better. Rebels doesn't make the original trilogy better, but it provides a lot of context for the original trilogy. I want to see a movie about the rise of the First Order, or not a movie, a series about the rise of the First Order and the fall of of the New Republic. What happened in the years that lead into The Force Awakens? What causes this conflict? What do the early days of this conflict look like? Because by the time The Force Awakens happened, like Leia's already balls deep in this conflict. Like and the resistance is already fighting the First Order. I want to see what happened leading up to that. And
Okay.
like what was the resistance doing? How did that work? And then continue it through the sequel trilogy. What happened to the resistance that made them fall apart by the time you get to the Last Jedi? And then what happened in that year between the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker?
Hmm.
Like, because I
Okay.
feel like there's a lot of room there to add context, and it's weird. We are again, like I said, we're 5 years out from this December will be 5 years since Rise of Skywalker came out, and I got into a car accident and broke 3 ribs. Unrelated, but it was the same day. Um, it it's been 5 years since then. We have had one book set in the sequel trilogy era. I'm sorry, two. There was Shadows of the Sith, which is the story of Orchi the Bounty Hunter and how that intersects with Luke and Lando. And there's the story of Resistance Reborn, which is a small book set between episodes 8 and 9. That's all we've had in that era. We need more. That needs to be more fleshed out. Do the Fall of Ben, like that, flesh out Exegol, flesh out the Sith Eternal, flesh out all of this stuff, and just let it all breathe. And I think a animated show that goes for 18 episodes a season could explain all that very well.
Okay.
How
Hmm.
much time do we have before my laptop dies? 16
Probably
minutes.
not much.
Do you want to very quickly check in on our predictions?
Um, we could save it for next time. I mean, I think we've created enough.
Content?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
I want to go through and rescore before I do that.
Okay. That
Um,
sounds good to me. Because of course you need to find out how much you beat me by.
I think we're pretty
So
close.
you can
As of last scoring,
rub
we're
it in
pretty
my
close.
face.
As of last scoring, we were close.
Really?
Yeah,
I can't believe you're willing to admit that.
yeah, I'm winning, but it's close.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, we'll
of
wrap up
course.
there for today. I do want to have one thing when I score though, because there was one thing that I'm gonna say. Never mind. We'll talk
Oh,
about it next
yeah?
week. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Um, but we'll wrap up there for today. Hopefully Josie's schedule is more open now, so we can record more often.
Probably a little
Um,
bit better for a while.
so we'll be back
Till
hopefully next week.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be back with that. So until our
Everything
next
gets busy
episode,
then.
have a great rest of your week.
Bye.